Welcome to another episode of Byron on the Rooftop here in Novelle, France. We are just above Lake Geneva, which is off behind. These mountains are the sort of precursors to Mount Blanc, which is one of the highest mountains in the Alps. We're going to be looking at this particular chimney behind me in this house. Many of the neighboring chimneys, which you see here behind me, include a sort of dome-like structure. They're a prefab masonry structure that includes the outer shell and an inner sort of ceramic core. I'll try and give you a quick close-up in just a moment. But these are on at least 2 per home. So from the place where I'm standing, I can see 16 chimneys on about 20 different residences. Very popular wood burning here in this part of France, and we're about 2,800 feet, not even 3,000 feet above sea level, and they do get snow here. There's a mountain pass behind me that gets heavy snow, etc. So let's take a look at these prefab masonry chimneys, and we're going to take a look at a freestanding wood stove inside of one of these and see their special cleanouts. So as we make our way to the front of this home to inspect the chimney, again, there are multiple chimneys and flues in this neighborhood. Just a beautiful walk, very steep pathways down these little residential lanes and alleys that one can't even take a car down. Prefab masonry blocks include the inner core, which is a sort of rounded square, and this one is moss covered, laying down, attached on the 4 corners. Over here is the chimney from which it was probably removed when some type of remodel was being done. Across the way you can see these 2 chimneys are constructed of that type of material. We're seeing a pretty common theme between Switzerland, Italy, and France, all probably because it's a shared building material. They can quickly stack them up, forming a complete structure, the outer wall and the inner flue wall, in a single component. Now, as we approach the house of interest, this is the one with the freestanding wood stove. We can't see the chimney because of how close we are to it, but we'll notice some smoke staining on the wall in just a moment. The chimney runs in a vertical fashion straight up here where I'm indicating with my hand, and you can see the discoloration where the heat has for a number of years stained through the building materials all the way to the exterior stucco. I've noticed this pattern in several residences in the area, which makes me think that that predates the liner system, which we're going to go inside and see the freestanding wood stove with a glass door, and it has a really cool liner system. All right, so now we're on the interior of this 2-story masonry system. This is a freestanding wood stove. It's got the typical ash drawer below, the air adjustment here, and the glass door with interior ceramic panels. Looks like they've got some deterioration going on between the air input holes. We're going to go ahead and take a look at how they did the T-system on this. Coming up, they've got a single wall, very heavy gauge pipe. If you can notice here, it's almost 1/8 of an inch thick. It's about 4 times thicker than anything in the US. Up here, they have a sweeps hole on the 90-degree turn going through the wall. So when you go to sweep, this is always the problem in America, is how to deal with this horizontal and how to deal with the vertical. Here they've given an access that you can go both ways. Now, looking at the T-axis, which is conveniently placed below here, please note how this attaches. There's a screw. It's fully insulated around, and around the edge, when my camera focuses, there is a spring. There's no bar across the middle for the bolt to attach to. So all you do is turn the nut, and it pinches and expands the spring. The spring squishes out, as you can see right here, and then it makes it extremely tight friction fit. Let's take a look inside. We've got a 6-inch round stainless steel. Looks like we've got a little bit of buildup in the T. And let's see how far up the liner goes. Well, good. Looks like the liner goes up as far as I can see. In this short video, I don't have my handy snap lock camera. Let's look down the T now. Looks like it's got some residue buildup that could probably stand to be cleaned out. Pretty typical looking ash and soot buildup there. Great system. We've completed our level 1 visual inspection up the flue and up into that lined 6-inch system. So we think it's safe enough to go with. We're going to take some basic paper that we found around the property. We have some kindling wood, and the way these work is just like the Berry stove by Hearthstone in the US, or the Yodel freestanding cylinder, or the Stuve 30. These vertical oriented appliances, we stack the wood vertically. We're going to go ahead and light it up. We have kindling both at the top and the bottom of the fuel load so that we get the precursor going. These are very hard systems to establish heat in, so we have to make sure we waste heat at the top of the fuel load first to get the smoke going the right direction to tell it which way to go. Smoke is dumb, it doesn't follow arrows, so it doesn't know which way to go. It'll try and come in the room and smoke us out, and then it's going to try the chimney. So we want to try and build a heat signature rapidly, close the door till it just has a 1-inch gap, and try and force that smoke up and out. Then it creates draft and it'll start pulling. So now I've just lit one piece of paper as close as I could to the top. It kind of slid down. We're about 30 seconds into the ignition. I think I'm just going to go ahead and let it burn down. I was going to light a second fire underneath, but it's drafting very well, very quickly. So very pleased with that. And it's finding its way out. I've got a 1-inch gap. I could just put my hand in. It's generating some good light, and a little bit of heat definitely generating already. So far so good. We'll check in shortly here after about 30 minutes. All right, after we ignited the fire, we just popped outside to see if the smoke was coming out the top. It is. It's coming out both sides of the little doghouse. It's a very small chimney top, again, made out of complete masonry. The liner just dumping the exhaust gases in. It goes out both the left and right side, and just for good measure, they put some tin up on top. All right, now we've got our fire going. It's been about 30 minutes. We'll take a look at the actual flame size. And now we'll do a close-up here of this freestanding wood stove. It's got a very beautiful flame. The logs are fully engulfed. Flames are going up. We have 2 air controls we've noticed. One that does top, one that does the bottom. They both pull fresh air from the room itself. One thing you may have been wondering, I've saved to the end, is why all this heavy soapstone around here? Well, as you know from Hearthstone stoves, that creates thermal mass, and that makes this system weigh about 700 pounds. So after it heats up, that 700 pounds is retaining that 900 degree Fahrenheit temperature and emitting it through the evening. All right, thank you very much for joining me for this video from France of a freestanding wood stove, and I hope you'll enjoy it. Hey, well, thanks for watching this video about the chimneys of France, and specifically around the Geneva area up in this little village. If you made it this far in the video, it must have meant it was somewhat interesting to you. If you wouldn't mind doing me a favor, click the like and subscribe button. I'd appreciate it. We got to feed that Google monster. Thank you.